Important Arabic translations. Most people have heard some version of this story. The Greeks created philosophy, Europe lost it, Muslim scholars preserved it, then Europe rediscovered it. That story is not completely false, but after reading Peter Adamson's Philosophy in the Islamic World, I realized it is far too passive. Adamson calls one of his opening chapters Founded in Translation, from Greek to Syriac to Arabic. His point is that translation was not merely the background to philosophy in the Islamic world, it helped create the tradition itself. It did not travel directly. Greek philosophy did not always travel directly into Arabic. Long before the Abbasid period, Christian scholars in Syria had already translated and studied Greek works in Syriac. Later, under Muslim patronage, multilingual scholars translated texts from Greek or Syriac into Arabic. This was therefore not one civilization working alone. Muslim patrons, Christian translators, and scholars from different ethnic backgrounds participated in a shared intellectual culture. Arabic became the language in which that culture could think, and Aristotle and Plato did not enter it in the same way. Aristotle versus Plato. Arabic readers gained access to much of Aristotle's system: logic, physics, metaphysics, psychology, ethics, rhetoric, poetics. Aristotle arrived as the architect of an entire method of knowledge. Plato was much more fragmented. His thought often circulated through summaries, quotations, and later commentators, rather than a complete surviving Arabic collection of his dialogues. Arabic thinkers therefore encountered Plato through a mixture of Platonic, Aristotelian, Galenic, and Neoplatonic material. This matters because translation is never simply copying. The translators had to decide how concepts such as substance, essence, intellect, form, and matter could be expressed in Arabic. Those decisions helped build a new philosophical vocabulary. The strange case of Aristotle. The most surprising example is a work called The Theology of Aristotle. Despite its title, much of it was not written by Aristotle at all. It was an Arabic reworking of passages from Plotinus, a Neoplatonic philosopher who lived centuries after Aristotle. Material from Proclus was also transmitted under Aristotle's name. This meant that some Arabic-speaking thinkers encountered an Aristotle who sounded much more Platonic than the historical Aristotle actually was. That was historically inaccurate, but intellectually productive. It encouraged philosophers to consider Plato and Aristotle as members of one broadly harmonious tradition. It also shaped new debates about God, intellect, the soul, and how the diversity of existence relates to a single first cause. More than preservation. This is where the word preservation becomes inadequate. Al-Khindi used Greek material to discuss creation, divine attributes, and the nature of the soul. Al-Farabi reorganized logic and political philosophy around questions of prophecy, government, and the ideal society. Ibn Sina inherited Aristotelian and Neoplatonic ideas but developed his own influential accounts of necessary existence. These thinkers were not storing Greek philosophy for future Europeans. They were arguing with it. They accepted certain conclusions, rejected others, and asked questions created by their own religious and intellectual environment. What reached Europe? Centuries later, works were translated from Arabic into Latin. Medieval Europe encountered not only Aristotle, but Avicenna, Averroes, and generations of Arabic commentary. These materials influenced in Latin discussions of psychology, metaphysics, natural philosophy, logic, and ethics. Greek to Latin translation also mattered, so this was not simply a one-way rescue story. It was a network of overlapping roots. The achievement of the Arabic translation movement was not simply that scholars kept Greek books safe. They gave those books a new language, placed them inside new debates, and produced questions the Greeks themselves had never asked. They did not merely preserve Aristotle, they made Aristotle speak Arabic. And once he did, philosophy was never quite the same again.